Hello everyone. The today's topic of the video is language acquisition up to first word. The newborn or neonate is hardly the thing of beauty that most people expect. Most neonates are very different from the plump, active, gregarious infants seen a few months later. The word infant is derived from the Latin infans, which means not speaking. The infant's world is the world of the people who do things for, to, and with the infant. The neonate is pre-wired for the communication. Important development in infancy help prepare children to acquire these first words. Phonological skills, both innate and acquired, help children discriminate and produce the speech sounds that compose these words. Communication skills allow them to exchange meaning of and intentions with other people even before the onset of the words. Furthermore, these early pre-verbal interchanges provide the trance work within which words and first genuinely linguistic communications eventually emerge. So, perception of the speech sounds. Questions about infants' perception of the speech are of two sorts. One sort concerns preferences, what infants like to listen to. The other sort concerns abilities, what they hear when they so listen. A general answer to the first question is clean enough. Infants like to listen to speech from birth. The human infants seems to be biological, pre-tuned and predisposed to process speech sounds, and human speech is in that the infant's favorite auditory diet. So infants' preferences extend beyond simply speech, voices, non-speech. From early in life, they show a preference for the form of speech known as motherese. Motherese is the label for the type of the speech that mother typically direct to babies and young children. Among its features are slow tempo, high pitch, and greatly exaggerated intonation, according to Fenolf and Simon 1984 and Greiser and Cuhey 1988. It is, in short, the kind of a speech that tells you that there must be a baby nearby. The preference for the motherese is evident even in the first few days of the life, according to the R.P. Cooper and the Ashley 1990. So, such preferences emerge even when the voice is that of a female stranger rather than the child's mother. They emerge for male speakers as well as female speakers, according to Workan and MacLeod 1989. Within first 3 days of the postnatal development, newborns prefer the human voice, discriminate between speakers, and demonstrate a preference for their mother's voices with only limited maternal exposure, according to D. Caspar and Pfeiffer 1980. Here, one question came in researchers' brain: how would infants so young have learned to recognize and prefer a specific voice? The answer of this question was given by the researchers. The auditory system is functional for at least the last several weeks before birth. By the 25th week after conception, changes in brain activity can be demonstrated in response to sound, according to Parmelli and Sigman 1983. So by the 28th week, fetuses clap their eyelids in the response to a loud, that is around 110 decimal. Although findings such as these suggest that prenatal hearing possible. So sounds from outside have to pass excuse me, through the mother's body tissue and through the fluid of the amniotic sac, a passage that may result in considerable attenuation before they ever reach the fetus ear. In the in addition, such sounds may have to compete with a surprisingly noisy intrauterine environment as high as 85 decibels by some estimates, according to Fukuhara, Shimura, and Yamanouchi 1980. So, whatever the situation may be before birth, infants cleanly do hear at birth. Perhaps reasoned Dasper, De Caspar, and the Pfeiffer, it was a prenatal exposure to the maternal speech. So, a subsequent experiment of dubbed the cat in the hat study was designed to test the hypothesis that infants could remember specific events that had been experienced only in the utero. Excuse me. The Casper, D. Casper and the Spence 1986 asked the pregnant woman to read aloud twice a day for the last 6 weeks of the pregnancy. Each, sorry, D. Casper and the Spence 1986 asked pregnant women to read aloud twice a day for the last 6 weeks of the pregnancy, and each mother was assigned one of three children's books. And it was this story that she faithfully recited during the daily reading sessions with her fetus. 2 days after birth, the infants were tested in the same sort of different voices but different stories. Either the story that the mother had read during pregnancy or one of the two stories, the infants sucked more diligently to produce the story which they had been exposed prenatally. So, children have already acquired some communicative skills by time they start learning to talk, and these skills continue to serve them when their interchanges with others become linguistic. The newborn will search for the human voice and demonstrate pleasure on mild surprise when he finds a face that is the sound source. So, upon sighting the face, newborn's eyes widen, his face broadens, and he may tilt his head and lift his chin towards quietly inactive. So, upon finding a non human sound source, the infant does not demonstrate these recognition behaviors. So, within the first week of the life, infants begins to imitate gross hand gestures, tongue protrusions, and mouth opening, according to Bowen 1977, Malzoff and Moore 1977. So much of this imitation may be reflexive in the nature, similar to yawn. By as early as 2 weeks, the infant is able to distinguish his mother from a stranger, according to Bowen 1971. Yet, the infant is not afraid of strangers and displays a definite pattern of the behavior in response to adult approach, speech, and touching. The infant will turn toward the adult and fix his gaze upon the adult's mouth on eyes. His facial expression will be one of the interest or mild surprise, followed by a simple according to Treverton 1979. So, researchers have suggested that infants will respond to an outline find eyes to be the most attractive part of the human face. According to Carpenter, Tassie, Strachler, and the Friedman